the Auralians believed themselves to be the most advanced civilization the cosmos had ever produced. Their bodies, semi-transparent and prismatic, glimmered with soft internal light as they drifted through immaculate cities, suspended in the vapor seas of their homeworld's upper atmosphere. They had unraveled quantum mechanics before most species learned to count beyond single digits. Faster-than-light travel, once the ultimate achievement of emerging civilizations, was to them no more impressive than a child learning to tie a knot. Yet despite all their brilliance, there existed one command so absolute that no Auralian ever questioned it. Do not disturb the humans. Humans were not feared, at least not in the way predators or conquerors were feared. By all outward measures, they appeared fragile and inefficient, carbon-based life forms who had barely reached interstellar capability before vanishing into dormancy. Ancient records claimed humanity had voluntarily entered cryogenic suspension during the chaos of their third global conflict, when their planet's resources teetered on the brink of collapse. Entire populations now drifted through deep space aboard colossal arcs, silent and frozen, maintained by autonomous systems older than many star nations. No one knew where the warning had originated. It had simply endured, copied, translated, enforced across epochs and empires. Galactic archives echoed with the same message in 1,000 languages. Let them remain asleep. Chief Research Overseer Kareth studied the newly discovered human ark from the bridge of his exploration craft. Its silhouette was ancient, even by Auralian standards, an artifact from a forgotten age. Yet something about it unsettled him, sending faint resonances through his crystalline structure. Remarkable beings, Kareth murmured. So peaceful in their slumber, hard to believe they inspired our most sacred prohibition. If only he had trusted his unease. The mission was meant to be routine. A passive scan of the ark's exterior plating, no intrusion, no risk. But Linex, his junior analyst, had other ideas. Fresh from the Interstellar Institute and burning with ambition, Linex had become obsessed with human physiology the moment the ark was identified. Their cryogenic systems exhibited an energy efficiency that defied even Auralian thermodynamics. Just a micro-drone, Linex urged, his facets pulsing with excitement. No interaction. Imagine what we could learn. Kareth hesitated. He should have stopped it. The moment the probe activated, the void itself seemed to shift. The dormant human vessel emitted a low, awakening hum, deep, resonant, and wrong. Alarms erupted across the research ship as system after system spiked. "What have you done?" Kareth demanded, his harmonic voice fracturing. Linex stared at the readings, his glow faltering. I think the probe synchronized with their cryofield." On the viewport, something terrifying unfolded. One by one, cryopods ignited across the arc like stars blooming in a dark sky. Thousands, then tens of thousands. Ancient machinery, far from obsolete, executed a flawless revival protocol so precise the Auralians' instruments struggled to keep up. "Emergency signal to Central Command," Commander Rick snapped. "Protocol ultraviolet, human awakening confirmed." The response was instant. Zelari battle cruisers tore out of hyperspace, forming a containment lattice around the ark. The Supreme Marshal appeared on screen, her crystalline form vibrating with fury. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" she roared. The humans were scheduled to sleep another 1,000 years. "Perhaps we can induce a return to stasis," Rix began. A warning tone cut him off. The human ship was activating. Engines long dismissed as primitive roared to life with terrifying precision. Systems once cataloged as relics surged online. Neural scans spiked sharply. These humans weren't just awake. They were angry. "They're conscious," the Marshal said quietly. "May the first dawn forgive us." As evacuation codes rippled through the fleet, Kareth turned to Rix and offered what history would later call the understatement of the millennium. I don't suppose this helps my annual evaluation. The human vessel's comm arrays crackled alive, broadcasting across every band in a language silent for centuries. Who interrupted our sleep? The Zalari diplomatic conclave had de-escalated wars and halted extinctions. Nothing in their training prepared them for irritated humans abruptly woken from a cosmic nap. Envoy Prism led the delegation, her crystalline form polished to precise brilliance. Be respectful, she instructed, deeply apologetic. The human ship granted docking access. The diplomats mistook this for goodwill. They were wronged. Inside the airlock stood a cluster of humans wearing loose sleep garments, gripping containers of a substance labeled coffee, immediately flagged as a biochemical hazard. The apparent leader squinted at them, hair defying physics. So, he muttered, you're the geniuses who woke several million people before their alarms. Honored humans, Prism began, on behalf of the Interstellar Accord. Stop, the human interrupted, sipping coffee. Do you know how long it took to synchronize millions of people's sleep schedules? The diplomats exchanged uneasy glimmers. We've prepared reparations, another envoy offered. Comfort systems, dream amplification. The human snorted. Oh, that's adorable. Ever try falling back asleep after being woken up? Impossible. That was when everything unraveled. The humans complained. Not threatened, not demanded war, complained, loudly, passionately, about everything. Food shortages, broken entertainment networks, the extinction of something called pizza caused an outburst that fractured multiple diplomatic aides. They're organizing a town hall, Prism transmitted in horror. They're forming committees. The phrase, digital withdrawal, began circulating with alarming intensity. In desperation, the conclave offered entire leisure planets. The human response was brief. Bold of you to think we'll ever feel like sleeping again. The true chaos began when humans accessed the transmissions that had accumulated during their centuries-long pause. Their collective emotional state shifted from irritation to amusement. Wait, one human laughed. You thought we went to sleep because we ran out of resources. The truth detonated like a collapsing star. Humanity hadn't entered stasis out of desperation. They had done it out of boredom. We fixed everything, the human spokesperson explained. Infinite clean energy, planetary peace, universal healthcare, faster-than-light travel. There was nothing left to do. Those primitive cryo-chambers were quantum cognition vaults. Humans hadn't been unconscious. They'd been running universe-scale simulations, solving problems no one else knew existed, and watching infinite variations of reality for entertainment. The warning, Prism whispered. The rule about never waking humans. Oh, that, a human grinned. We wrote it, greatest prank in cosmic history. The galaxy reeled. Humans weren't dormant primitives. They were cosmic adolescents on a centuries-long break. They'd charted every possible timeline, solved the mystery of disappearing socks, debated whether hot dogs were sandwiches, and refused to share the answer. Why pretend? Demanded the High Marshal. Being the most advanced species is exhausting, the human replied. Everyone wants help. We just wanted peace. With humanity fully awake, reality itself seemed to loosen. Star systems were rearranged because the vibes were off. Ancient conflicts were resolved over shared meals and games. Galactic governance collapsed into something unrecognizable, and somehow better. Then, months later, something unexpected happened. The humans began yawning. We're tired, their envoy admitted casually. Time for another rest. Silence spread through the chamber. You can't just, the Marshal began. Relax, the human said, smiling. We left real instructions this time. And so preparations began for a second hibernation, this one consensual. As humans settled back into their arcs, the galaxy watched in awe and relief. In the end, the greatest revelation was simple. Sometimes, absolutely everyone just needs a really good nap.